My friend, I want to welcome you to this event. This is, as far as I know, this is the first time that we have ever had a live stream on this relatively new channel here, Lionel Legal, which is the sister, if you will, the sister channel to Lionel Nation. And I wanted to provide a kind of a forum where we talk specifically and more directly regarding legal matters, the Constitution, those matters, juridical and the like, jurisprudential issues, the Constitution, and not in the usual way. To say that I am disgusted by how folks handle the law in the media, it would be kind of an understatement. I mean, I really don't understand. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 40 plus years of experience, plus practical applications, and to tell you how to read these things without necessarily, without you being confused. How do I say this? Without being confused by a lot of the garbage that is being provided. Let me also say to you that the case that is the most interesting that has happened is the Diddy case. P. Diddy. Now, first, when I say this to you, I don't expect you to necessarily like or to care for Diddy, as it were. You don't have to. I understand that completely. I understand how this thing works. And I understand that a lot of people don't. I'm not a purveyor of rap music. This has nothing to do with rap. That's like you looking at the Alec Baldwin Rust case and asking yourself, do I have anything? Oh, look at this. As I speak, RFK announces Silicon lawyer Nicole Shanahan for VP. I know this is not the place, but he is a complete joke. If you don't mind. By the way, may I be so kind, or would you, or would you be so kind, just if you could, and I'm not trying to troll, but just to make sure this new operator is working. Is it possible for? Oh, there we go. William, thank you for this. I was going to ask, would somebody please write something so I know I'm even on? Just saying. I've got this real thing about speaking and nobody's there. Doesn't really matter. True story. Years ago, I used to be a part of the comedy circuit here in New York, stand-up comedy. And a friend of mine told me that he was doing a show when, lo and behold, he was talking and basically nobody was saying anything. He couldn't see, the light of the crowd was so great. Make a long story short, he was talking, and Jerry Seinfeld was this is how long ago it was. He was himself working, and he walks in, he goes, "Hey, dude, yeah, there's nobody here." And the fellow looked, kind of like, and he looked, and there was nobody in the room. So anyway, Captain Trips, welcome. Howie Brown, thank you. You're my 3 first purveyors of thought, and I want to thank you for this. This is great. It's like starting over this with Lionel Legal. This is interesting. It's like I feel like a tyro. I feel like a newbie, as it were. So in any event, number 1, P. Diddy. Mr. Diddy is not charged with anything. Any of you find that interesting? He's not charged with anything. Now, they had to have a search warrant issued. By the way, hit that like button. Thank you so much, Captain. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for being so kind to say, hit those likes. Between you and me, Captain, I got to be honest with you. Sometimes you watch these shows and the first thing they do is they tell you, want me to like this, like me. I say, for God's sake, you just started. Dude, like me. Hit the like button, like it. It's, we'll do something and then maybe I'll like it. So I don't want to be like that. William Stezina, Bill, I'll call you Bill. Billy S. Cat Williams said it best. I have been a lawyer since 1983. I have been a prosecutor, criminal trial lawyer, done all different types of things. And I'm not one to go into which is considered by many to be the, quote, conspiracy world. I'm just going to say this right off the bat. Nothing against conspiracies. But let me tell you, my dear friends, a conspiracy is a word that it's gotten a bad rap as of late. And what it is it normally conveys the idea, conspiracy as in conspiracy theory. It sounds like what you are saying is that you are nuts, you are crazy, that you're suggesting something that's crazy, that's nuts, that's stupid, that's lunatic. But there's nothing about a conspiracy that is bad. Let me explain this to you. A conspiracy is a confederation, an agreement between two or more people to engage in something that is illegal. That's all it is. That's all it means. Something that is illegal. Period. The law hates the agreement almost as much as you completing the agreement. It hates the conspiracy. It hates that. You are charged with a conspiracy sometimes and the crime itself. It does not want you organizing, conveying, conspiring. Remember one thing, conspiring, conspirare, and spirare actually is to breathe, and conspire is to breathe with or to breathe together. That's the notion of a conspiracy. You're breathing and you're acting in concert with somebody else. Cat Williams talked a while back about these demented and depraved members of Hollywood at levels that are disgusting, at levels that are depraved, at levels that hurt, harm, and act as predators. Little side note, little thing, I mentioned this before, a little bit about me, if you don't mind. The two things that have always driven me the most crazy, the things that makes me the most angry are two things. Number one, when people are not treated the same. This is why DEI bothers me. This is why affirmative action bothers me. This is why somebody comes along and says, we're going to treat you one way and you another. And by the way, this goes back to the days of segregation. This goes back to the days of Jim Crow. Same thing. Blacks go here, whites go here. No. Wait. Women go here, men go here, men's rooms, ladies' rooms. Okay, that I can see, but I do not understand this. So the idea of that. So equal protection under the law, 14th Amendment, is one of the foundations of our country. In addition to that, I hate when people are targeted, and I hate when people are most vulnerable are targeted, especially children. And I hate when people use the how do I say this? I hate when people use positions of power and authority to access control of another. Captain Tripp says, do you think Combs will suffer as R. Kelly has? Well, a couple of things here. Number one, he hasn't been charged. He hasn't been charged with anything. DEI didn't earn it. Very good. I'm going to consider that stolen, sir. Consider that stolen. DEI didn't earn it. I'm sure. Somebody the other day wrote, being rewarded for good behavior only works in prisons, which I kind of like that as well. R. Kelly was charged with a lot of things. R. Kelly, by the way, there's a lot of parallels. Diddy could. We don't know how many people have been quiet. Let me ask you a question. Ask you, my dear friends. How do you think Whittier and Trippy and everybody else, why do you think he wasn't charged? Why? Let me ask you. You're in my law office. You are a new associate. I'm asking you a question. What do you think is the reason why they didn't charge him? They went in with every conceivable form of military equipment you can imagine, right? Did you see that? Yes, you did. They came in and they basically, it looked like it was the 1st Marine Division. Why? Why? They had search warrants looking for things. They had to go before a magistrate and say to a judge, or this magistrate, which is a judge, under oath, that you had reasonable belief, reasonable suspicion, reasonable cause, probable cause to believe that these items were there. These items were in this home. So why not arrest them? They weren't there. We're not there just to look for stuff. You've got stuff that's illegal. Someone said snitched. You see, Mr. Slick, thank you for your question. In the business, if you were downtown right now, downtown always is a reference to the boys. The boys. Downtown, Brooklyn, downtown or Brooklyn. But the boys, downtown, would be very wary if all of a sudden there was a big raid and let's say you didn't get arrested. Or if you were arrested and you were let out very early. Think about that. They're saying, wait a minute, this is the old Al Capone thing. Arrest him to make it look like he, did something. And then, but they'd be very, very suspect. That's number one. Number two, you're sending the message out to everybody. He's no good. Get away from him. Business deals, get in your lawsuits quick. We're going to start liquidating. People are going to be, I don't know if he has concerts. He was involved in a charter school, which was a disaster. The word is, Diddy is doo-doo. It's done. He's finished. Stay away. Look at the other people. Now, please, I'm going to use a lot of names here. And I don't want you to think like, oh, I'm a cool guy. I know their names, but I couldn't. If you played Jay-Z, I might be able to tell him. The only person I think I know in terms of their voice is maybe Eminem. If I had to really tell, I don't know. Okay. Candace Owens stated they were raiding to get rid of evidence. Well, no. If you want to get rid of evidence, you do it differently. To go in, unless you want to go in and seize stuff to keep it, might be a novel take. Not be a novel take. We can play all kinds of guesstimates. All I'm saying is that he's done. He's toast. He's finished. Nobody wants to get near him. Who wants to get near him? Human trafficking, that's number one. You see what, and by the way, what do you think about the way they're treating, what about Ben Shapiro treating Candace Owens? Does Candace Owens have a right to say, why are they giving her the stink eye? What is she saying that's so wrong? Whatever she says, so what? Is she anti-Semitic? Don't go through that again, please. How about Piers Morgan? That's another one too. How dare you? They sent the legal department from the whatever sent a letter to Stephen Colbert. Now look, I'm no Stephen Colbert fan, but damn it, he's got the right to joke about anybody he wants. I mean, this covers more than just Diddy, but I gotta throw this one out to you. This story about just please, and let me just warn you, we're going to cover a lot of different stuff here, not just this, okay? Jesus is King crossed the line. Howie, before Easter, I know what you're saying, my friend. I understand what you're saying. But does it really? I mean, it does, but does it really? And if she crossed the line, so what? I'm going to say something to you. If she crossed the line, so what? John McGuire, let me tell you something. You were the first super chat on this channel. And I want to thank you. I wish I could put like a dollar bill on a thing. You know what I mean? Like a little dollar bill. I could put it up there and say, here you go. John McGuire couldn't get hired. Said, isn't it sad that if the feds decide to move on you're done. And if you choose to fight, you're guaranteed a longer sentence? Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Oh, I don't even know where to start. And please forgive me because you're throwing a lot of things I want to throw at you. And I'm going to be, it's my mind. And I wish I could say this. But let me just explain something to you. Candace Owens has a right to say anything you want. And let me also tell you something. If you say something that is anti-Semitic, anti-white, anti-black, anti-Jewish, anti-Italian, anti-American, anti-Trump, so what? You can say anything you want. Everybody agree with me? So what? Hashtag so what? I don't like that. So what? Hey, that's racist. Okay. So what? What am I going to do? I've heard racist stuff. So what? What am I supposed to do? That's anti-Semitic. Well, that's anti-Christian. Well, that's okay. I'm a Catholic by profession. I'm retired. I was raised Catholic. My parents were Catholic. I went to Catholic kindergarten, Catholic grade school, Catholic high school, and Catholics were dumped on by everybody. Oh, you're a recovering Catholic. Excuse me? Never was touched by a kid. We were never spanked, touched, hit, whipped, slapped, nothing. And I had to go through this stuff. I said, why do you get to say all these things about this? John McGuire, you breaking my heart with a super sticker. Thank you so much. My God, wow. You're it, man. You're it. You should be able to say any goddamn thing you want. Pardon me. Pardon my French, but it's true. Say whatever you want. So what? Piers Morgan is getting upset because Stephen Colbert, again, I'm not a big fan, but let me explain something to you. As you will see, I'm intellectually consistent. I say things not because I like people. I say things because they're true. I've said things about Trump that I think are stupid. When he says something right, I'll say it's right. How about this? How about this judge today says a gag order? What the hell's going on here? What is this, America? You can't say anything that's disparaging. Excuse me? Excuse me? What are you talking about? I think John McGuire says, I had no clue Lionel had another separate channel. You know what? I've been keeping it quiet. Johnny, I've been keeping it quiet. Don't want to confuse people. You know how it is in this business. When you tell people too many things, they get confused. Let me ask you, dear friends, when was the last time you were ever, when were you ever, what's the word? When were you ever, offended? Were you ever offended? We'll get back to Diddy in a moment, but were you ever offended? I mean, somebody, may say, hey, fatso, or hey, whatever it is, you're ugly. But I mean, have you ever said anything? Have you ever read something? Oh my God, this is the most offensive. Get him off. Shut him down. Shut his record. No, shut him down. No. I'm an adult. I'm a grown man. I've seen things that are horrible. Now, I mean, I can take it. I've got a thick skin. If somebody says something I don't like, I turn it off. I turn things off because they're stupid. The First Amendment is dead. They're going after Candace Owens because she supposedly, but whatever. Again, you don't have to like her, not like her. Say whatever you want. If you don't like it, turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off. I mean, I'm sorry. The only thing I do not permit or countenance, very simply this, child sexual abuse material. Short of that. Now, let's go back to Diddy. They went into, quote, get rid of evidence. It's interesting to an extent. Changing the subject, but not changing the subject. Where's the Epstein evidence? Epstein's house, Epstein's apartment, Epstein's homes, they were, in essence, recording studios. Where were they? Where were they? Where are the evidence? Where are the thumb drives, hard drives, cameras, recordings? Where are they? Where are they? Anybody? Do you know what I could do with that? You know what I could do with that one? That was a honeypot. That was an extortion ring. That was an extortion ring. And when you've got all the, would it surprise you And when you say this, people think, oh, that's crazy. I don't think that's crazy. But if I said to you, if that was Mossad or CIA or MI6 working in concert, do you see how it would be perfect to take all of that material and say, now, what would you like? Let's assume, and I'm not suggesting this, but let's assume I had Bill Gates, Prince Andrew, heads of state, people you've never known, governors, senators, having sex with minors. Okay? What would happen if I could take that evidence and I've got it? What could I do with it? I'd own you. I'd own you for the rest of your life. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Nothing. Nothing. Extortion is the oldest trick in the book. Now, it was reported, and don't be surprised in the case of Diddy and others, Diddy or didn't he, whether, don't be surprised if that information was indeed recorded, if that was seized, if that was, people are stupid. R. Kelly recorded everything. Let me explain to you something. Can we back up a little bit? And this is not necessarily illegal, but it's important to understand the lay of the land, as it were. Since time immemorial, dear friends, there have been people in the entertainment business who have exhibited behaviors that are so demented, so sick, so vile, so unimaginable, that your head, your heart would scream. You wouldn't believe what you were seeing. And you couldn't believe it. Since the beginning of time, since the days of Chaplin, Pickfair, Mary Pickford, Clara Bow, Fatty Arbuckle, the world of entertainment is been, you must understand this. In the days of Jack Warner, Louis B. Mayer, the big studio heads, there was something I saw years ago, I'll never forget. It was a picture, it was a video of young women getting off the bus. And they showed up at this studio, and they were walking bright-eyed, Main Street, 40s, that real clean look. Remember when women were beautiful before this artificial, before the messed up lips and the bad plastic surgery and the artificial, where there were people, where there was a certain people who just looked not innocent, but girl next door meant something. The days going back to Veronica Lake and Audrey Hepburn and go down the blah, 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 blah. Okay. Not this trash that's walking around now. And Louis B. Mayer and these guys would look out the window when the bus would get, all the recruits. And you're sitting there and you've got hundreds in just this shipment of girls, women, 20s, who wanted to be, who were the, they were the homecoming queen, the strawberry shortcake queen at the county fair, the ones who were the cheerleaders, and before modeling was, they wanted to be an actress or they wanted to sing, and they showed up and they just looked up like salivating wolves, just the prey. And what they do is that they always find something to either leverage with or against you. For example, what do you want? You have a dream. I'm going to use that dream. Did you find folks please see the documentary Quiet on Set? It was probably one of the most important things you can ever see. And it dealt with predation. Let me tell you a little story. This is where the Diddys and the R. Kellys and everybody works. This is the way they work. And Cat Williams was 100% correct. Cat Williams was the kind of the Alex Jones of blackness. Or whatever. I don't know what you want to call him. My favorite word, negritude. He spoke to a world and in a way that, and Daniel in a way from Hawaii, in a way that you and I cannot speak. He's a brilliant man. When he was on Joe Rogan, it was a waste of time because he was so high he couldn't put two words together. He sounded like a moron. And if I didn't know better, well, I don't know. I don't want to. See, I will never tell you that I believe something happened when I don't have evidence of it. But I will tell you, if I didn't know better, that's my cue for, I think this is what happened. Cat Williams really hurt himself in a lot of people's minds because they did not hear Club Shay Shay and Shannon Sharp. And this was a chance for them to hear it. And Joe Rogan made such a big deal about it. And he went on and sounded like a blithering idiot, talking about, and God is not the answer. God is the parentheses within the sentence of the question. Like, what the hell are you talking about? He's stoned out of the bejesus. Okay? Please. But he spoke so eloquently. Let me tell you a little story about this thing, just to get an idea about predation. Understand this. And if you have children, please pay attention to what I'm saying. Years ago, there was a great fellow, a friend of mine. His name is John Edwards. Not John Edwards, John Douglas. John Edwards was that other. One was a senator and one was that phony baloney who could talk to the dead. I can talk to the dead too. They can't talk back. John McGuire, ladies and gentlemen, John McGuire says DHS is running the investigation. They may not be looking at human trafficking at all. This might be straight up drug bust. No, it's Department of Homeland DHSI, Department of Homeland Security investigation, cyber trafficking. There's just whatever. That doesn't mean anything. Look, John, and by the way, thank you. I could send the Coast Guard in, but doesn't mean that's. But let me go back. It's about the predation. And this is what you've got to understand, especially if you have kids. I asked John Douglas one time, and this was a long time ago. I said, tell me what a predator thinks like. And by the way, please do not say pedophile. Pedophile means somebody who's attracted to young people. I don't give a damn what you're attracted to. You could have fantasies about cannibalism for all I care. I don't care. It's when you touch somebody. That's it. A rapist, somebody who's commits sexual battery. What is he? Is he a heterosexual? No. Okay. So John Douglas told me, this is what he would do. He said, now, this is how long ago this was. He says, I would go to where the kids were. Predators always go to where the target is. Any hunters here? Yes. Where do you go? You go where the animals are. You know the season. You know this is deer season, sometimes by law, but now is not. They're breeding. They're in migration. They're this. The fish. About fishing. Go. This is a pier fish. This is open water. This is salt water. This is this. This uses a spoon. This uses worms. This is the prey. The bait. Are they nocturnal? Everything about them. So what these guys would do is they would do this. I said, tell me what somebody thinks. He says, well, I'm dating myself, but he says he said he'd go to the mall. Remember the mall when he had game rooms? I used to love them. With a roll of about $10 worth of quarters, play Missile Command and Pac-Man and all that stuff. Okay. That's where he would go. That's where the kids are. Just follow the predator. Here's kids. It's like licking his chops. He just knows exactly. Now remember, the real predator is a groomer. And by the way, somebody made the joke. That Combs is a groomer because, combs his hair. Okay. Bad pun. And I love, by the way, I'm going to remember this one. DEI didn't earn it. Love that. Please. I think that is so funny. DEI didn't earn it. Ah, there we go. Political talk. Yes, tiger droppies didn't earn it. Love that. Okay. So anyway, so you go in, and here's what he would do. He goes in and he sees a kid, fat kid, a kid nobody's talking to. Maybe seems awkward. Maybe by himself. Maybe. And he walks over and he says, "Hey, you're pretty good." Oh no, I said, "I got some extra quarters. You want to play these?" This is a grown man, but he's in a. Remember, they also know camouflage. These are geniuses. They're parents. Nobody doesn't look out of order. Kids. It's a mall. There's Sears, for God's sake. There's the Cinnabon or wherever they have. There's a man. He's not doing anything. He's not dragging anybody out. Oh, it's on the contrary, because the groomer seduces. He wants the child to love him. He wants the child to fall in love with him. He's not grabbing him. Not at all. Oh, no. So he gives him a couple of quarters. He goes, "Hey, you're pretty good." Why? Self-esteem. You're good at this. Wow. Thanks, mister. No, call me Johnny. What is your name? Hey, good to see you again. You come here often? Patient coaches, Little League, Boy Scouts, teachers, choir, anywhere near kids. Anywhere near kids. Nothing personal. Not that all of them are bad. Of course not. But that's where they are. So here are the people like, and I'm not saying this is Diddy, because remember, let me say this again. Not only is not only is Diddy presumed innocent, he didn't not charged with anything. Nothing at all. Nothing. Remember that. He's charged with nothing. He just. So what happens? Well, did you hear what Chris Brown had to say about him? Did you hear what Kat said to him about his precious hole? And he pretty much said that there is a movement, and he used the word Illuminati. Please don't use that word, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I know you like the word, and I know it's a fun word, and I know it's kind of one of our favorites, but this is not the Illuminati. And the reason why you shouldn't use it is once you use it, you sound like a nut. And we don't need to sound like a nut. Okay? We don't need to. We don't. But I know what you mean. There are different people. Like I told you, in Hollywood, there are people who, let me ask you this. Where did he get his money from? Where did he get all his money from? 2 homes, Holmby Hills in Chicago, jets. But excuse me, where did he get this money from? Where? There aren't this many people who have this money anywhere. Where did Epstein get his money from? Les Wexner. Remember that? Remember him? Victoria's Secret, the whole bit? I'm going to throw some names at you. Respond. Okay? Let me throw some names at you. Little word. One of them is Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey, Oprah Winfrey. Where'd Oprah get her money from? She's a billionaire. From what? From what? Couple movies? Okay. I don't think Steven Spielberg was a billionaire. I don't think Scorsese's been president. Coppola. I don't know. What did she do to earn this? What? Tyler Perry. Oh. I'm gonna just say some. You do know there are levels. There are people here. This is the news. Okay, this is that stuff you think you're watching tonight. This is the stuff that you think is the news, and it's not. It's propaganda. It's the official story. It's sent your way to make you think something. Does that make any sense to you? It's sent your way to make you think that something. How do I say it? It's ridiculous. It's this propaganda, not even propaganda. By the way, propaganda, as you know, is a term from the Catholic Church, actually from the papacy, And it was Gregory, whatever, propaganda came from propagation of the faith. And what it is it is basically, it's not a bad word. It wasn't supposed to mean, it means you're putting out how do I say this? You're putting out a way of thinking. That's all it is. It's just a way of thinking. And it's just a bunch of people listening to what you're saying and just, okay. So anyway, so that's propaganda. Where do we see propaganda all the time? The NFL, bread and circuses, constantly. The NFL, flyovers. The NFL, the usual suspects. NFL, patriotism. Frank Capra, propaganda. World War II, great propagandist, one of the best. Making us hate with a passion, to hate with a passion the Japanese, right? You know how that works? Remember during the World War II, remember all of this anti-Japanese stuff? They were animals. They were subhuman. They were monkeys. And remember that? Do you recall that? It's one of those things where it was a very, very deliberate move on their part too. Sure. Anyway, make a long story short. So propaganda is what you see constantly. But there's that level. And then what else is there? Well, then there's the other level, kind of like like Weinstein calls it, the intellectual dark web, kind of like the dark web, the background. There are people that I know. My wife, Mrs. L, and I have been, she in particular, we've been in the business, so to speak, for a long time. Been doing this for a long time. And met a lot of people and been in New York and know kind of the way things work. And, it's whatever it is. And I am telling you right now that there are people that if I could sit down and tell you, one of the biggest stories is, do you know the number of people in Hollywood who are gay? Now, you may say to yourself, well, that's kind of crazy. No. Do you know the number of people in Hollywood who are gay? Gay males, gay. Women can be gay. Nobody really cares. I hate to say it. But let's say you're a big movie star, action star. Let's say you're Clint Eastwood. Now, I'm not suggesting he's gay, but work with me on this. If you found out that Sharon Stone were gay, what difference would it make? You might like it. I don't know. If you found out that Meg Ryan was gay, again, I'm not saying that, but would it matter? We don't even say gay anymore. The word lesbian has just disappeared. You don't say, I like sapphic. Doesn't even matter. We don't even know. Okay. But what if I told you Clint Eastwood was gay? Now, again, I'm not saying that, but you would say, wait a minute. Could you suspend? Remember years ago when the fellow was from Something About Mary, there was a British actor, and he came out and it ruined it. They said, we can't do this because you can't be a leading man if we know you're gay. This was weird. I thought, but he's an actor. Doesn't matter. And there are people who go out of their way to protect you. They want to make sure nobody finds out about this. May I also say something to you? Sports stars. Let's say you're a big, tough, burly guy and you're a professional golfer. I'm throwing this out. And you sell things like Titleist and Big Berthas or whatever they're called, and a tough world of the PGA, and even though they were some of the silliest clothes of all time. And somebody said, guys named, Mike with hairy wrists and silver ID bracelets, and you know what I mean, who drink beer, and they like you because you're their guy. Well, if they found out you're gay, what would that do? For me and you, I don't think it would matter. So they keep that quiet. Action stars, sports stars, people. Now, somebody's got that information. What's it to you? Do you think people in the world of entertainment, do you think they can keep their mouth shut? That's a bad pun. Do you think they can keep their emotions in check? Do you? Do you think so? No. Let me tell you what happens. When you're in that business, something happens to you where you feel bulletproof. Nobody can get you. You're better than everybody else. You're untouchable. They can't touch you. See what I'm saying? I'm who you don't know who I am. I'm Sean Penn. I'm just saying. That's another guy I'd like. The ones I'd love to investigate. We'll get to that later. Remember, always ask for charities. Anybody doing any charity? Yeah. Uh-huh. Anybody doing any charities outside of the country? Uh-huh. There you go. Go right there. Start there. All right, team. Go look in there. Where? Go where the kids are. Go where the kids are. And the very fact that they give a damn about sex trafficking here, you want to go, you know where the kids are, where the sex trafficking? Go to the borders. Unaccompanied minors. Come on, they go right here. Ask the CPS units across the country that sees these kids. What about parents who sell their kids into trafficking? Mrs. L has Lynn's Warriors. I've told you this before. You should follow her. Lynn's Warriors. Ready for this? This one, I'll never forget this. At a meeting, it could have been DHS, but it was something. It was one of these folks. They said the number one, the age range, the preferred age range for kids, 0 to 2. Newborns to 2. You heard me. What kind of a sick, what kind of, what? Mm-hmm. So here's Diddy. I know Diddy's secrets. I know Diddy's offenses. I know Diddy's victims. I know Diddy's everything. What does Diddy represent? Diddy, Oprah, Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, all the people that Cat Williams mentioned. What do they represent? Democrats. Black folks, 14% of the population. That's a good demographic, isn't it? I own you. Go out and bring them in. Own them. Taylor Swift, smartest person in the world. They tried to pull her into that Biden juggernaut, and she said, "Wait a minute, I might have helped you before. Not now. She smells a rat. She's on her own thing." By the way, that story, even better than anything else. Complete and total mirrors, smoke and mirrors, and people are buying it. I mean, but let's go through this. Who do these people represent? If I need a fundraiser, who should I go to first? I'm a Democrat? Oprah. Number one. When they had to do a hit job on the Royals, I have no idea why. CBS, who they get? Oprah. That was really, don't mess around with the Royals. Don't mess with these people. Forget this. Forget this business about the Saudi Arabians. No. Royal family. They're the most powerful. They got more money, more power, more real estate, more. No, they're the biggest. And Oprah did that. Oprah's new thing, she and Whoopi Goldberg, they're on the Ozempic thing. I lose weight. I don't take drugs. Okay, I take drugs. No, it's Weight Watchers. Well, maybe it's not. Okay. Imagine putting all that money and you give Oprah. She's the voice of your Weight Watchers. And I mean, you did what? Where'd Oprah get her money from? Where'd Oprah get her money? What does she do? The Oprah Winfrey Show? What, she owns that? Okay, so what? You ever seen it in reruns? No. Well, the Oprah Book Club? Uh-huh. Yeah, that was a big one. O Magazine? Uh-huh. By that account, Martha Stewart should be Warren Buffett, for God's sake. Nobody ever asked that. Where does she get this money from? You know who else money I want to know? Fannie Willis. $8 million. real estate, 650,000, whatever, in gold, property in Hawaii. What are you talking about? Speaking of Hawaii, whatever happened with Lahaina? We're not talking about that anymore, do we? I'm throwing a lot of things at you. I'm so sorry, but I can't help it. It's my nature. So much stuff. So Diddy, what's going on here? They got to charge you. His lawyers are talking to somebody. Okay, what do you want? What do you want to do? Now that you made this big deal, you went in and there's and TMZ. How does TMZ work into this? Who is TMZ? How come TMZ knows all this stuff? How did he know this? Harvey Levin is TMZ. Harvey Levin owns TMZ. This is the story that's really important. How does that work? Isn't that something? How does that work? Remember a while back when Roger Stone was arrested, ninja style, 4 a.m. Remember when CNN was there? CNN. How did they get the news about this? I don't know. But they were there. They showed up out of nowhere. What was that all about? There was the corruption. Remember what Breitbart said? Politics is downstream from entertainment. Entertainment runs everything. They run the show. You understand how this thing works? Think about what I'm saying to you. It's very important. Very, very critical. Very critical. You know what we're going to do? We're going to pick this up again. Hey, look at Laura Floyd's here. Look at this. Everybody's here. This is wonderful. Oprah selling, I don't know, rug bread from Denmark. I don't know what that is. Thank you so much. Who is this? Rupert Prawley. I like that, Prawley. By the way, geoengineering. Thank you for using geoengineering. Never say chemtrails. Laura Floyd, how are you there? Dick Bork, everybody. There is nowhere they can go in this world. It's done with them. They're all targets of justice. Well, maybe the Department of Justice. Jay Nash, thank you all for you and Mrs. L. Thank you, by the way. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Mrs. L, by the way, this is the best. Please make sure you follow her. Go to Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. You ought to hear what she has to say about this. She'll tell you stories, make your hair curl. Follow her, Lynn's Warriors on YouTube, and also Lynn's _Warriors on X. I still can't say X. To me, it's Twitter. But we'll talk about that. What's going on with Titty? What's going on with Titty? That's what I want to know. Diddy, grown man, Diddy. I like old stupid bastard, or what's his name? Stupid old bastard, or smelly bastard, or that's a good name. Fitty, not 50, Fitty. He's very smart. Kanye, very smart. Of course, he had to go crazy with this anti-Semitic stuff. Now listen, let me tell you something. I don't think you should be arrested for saying anti-Semitic stuff, but if you do say it, you will suffer tremendously, because remember, people have the right to just completely boycott your ass because you're obviously demented. Something to think about. Okay? So just think about that. Controlled opposition. Mr. Slick, pretty sharp guy. Who is the pilot on P. Diddy's G5? A great question. And he has 2 planes. 2. There's the dark one, the black, the kind of the matted color. Then there's the other one. And why they go to Antigua, or Antigua, as they call it? Do you call it a guitar? No, it's Antigua. It's like Tijuana. No, it's Tijuana. T-I-J-U-A. They always say Tijuana. Drives me crazy. We will do this again. But listen, let me thank you, dear friends. You are the inaugural live. This is the inaugural live feed, live stream on Lionel Legal. Thank you for this. And to you, this John McGuire, couldn't get higher. Your beneficence, your magnanimity, your perspicacity, all of these are without peer. And I thank you for this. Make sure you subscribe to this. Subscribe. We will do this on a regular basis. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Hey, by the way, how about that key bridge? Anything weird about that one? Still looking on that. I know this may not be legal, but you buying the story of the ISIS K? Come on. Let me tell you something, my friends. I was red-pilled on a Tuesday on the 11th of September in 2001. I was red-pilled, and I've never come back. And I don't want to come back. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a conspiracy analyst, as the great Gore Vidal said. All right, dear friends, thank you immensely. You are the very first members here. You are our very first. And I'm so honored that you are here. So in any event, thank you so much. You will forever be in my heart. We'll do it again. I don't know when, but you remember, subscribe, and hit that little bell. When you subscribe, keep hitting it. There's some rule there about to be notified of when we're doing it again. All right? Okay, dear friends. Have a great and a glorious day. Don't ever change. I mean that sincerely. And as I say on Lionel Nation, my usual channel, I always say, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da, da.